Hallelujah, Christ is risen. Hello, morning companions. It's not very often that I make political comment or post political things, but this morning, earlier on, as I was contemplating on the reflection from the reading appointed for today in the Glenstall Abbey Book of Readings for the Seasons for this 6th Saturday of Eastertide, I was reminded, unfortunately, and it rather spoilt my period of reflection when I remembered it, that today's also the day when there are going to be many thousands of angry men and women stomping round London, shouting aggressively about how we're being destroyed by Islam and Muslims, and demanding that we stop doing all the things that Christ said that we must do, demanding that we stop feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, taking in the stranger, giving refuge to the dispossessed. But rather they shout that we should become real macho Christians, foot soldiers, if you like, doing the work on this earth of their rather vile and vengeful God that they worship. So I'm going to share now that reflection with you, and this is the words of Father Karl Rahner of the Society of Jesus. Does the world hate you? You must not be surprised when the world hates you. If we look at the context of this verse, we find the following. We are to love one another, not to be like Cain, who belonged to the evil one and cut his brother's throat. We must not be people who hate others, because we cannot endure goodness. According to John, love, kindness, holiness, and justice all arouse hatred. He assumes that Christians are people who do good works like Abel. So John thinks that goodness and justice provoke the antagonism, anger and hatred of the unjust because they cannot endure contrast with themselves. They want to see their actions endorsed by the actions of others, and they are forced to blame themselves and disavow their actions if they meet someone else whose deeds are just and good, even to the point of loving their evil attackers. So goodness stirs up malice, love stirs up hatred, and justice, injustice. Injustice comes to light and is exposed because it cannot bear goodness. Now John says that this must happen to us. He admonishes us not to be surprised when it does happen to us. Let us be perfectly frank. Can we say that the world really hates us? Do we suffer violence and impoverishment for conscience sake? To be honest, we are no better off than many other countries. We have our difficulties and perhaps our tragedies, but we cannot really pretend that the world hates us because we are just, because we love those who hate us. Now, if such is the case, are we really what we should be? People that St. John can assume will be hated by the world and who must be admonished not to wonder at that hatred. By this standard of real Christianity, we may well find ourselves wanting before God and our conscience. We need the light of God, a fidelity and a purity of conscience that is able to criticize ourselves and criticize the world. A staggering task. We must keep asking ourselves whether we are or not, in St. Paul's phrase, too much conformed to this world. We must keep asking whether we do not misrepresent Christianity and give scandal to those who are in search of true Christianity, because we pretend to be Christians and are nothing of the kind. May God give us the grace to bear the real hatred of the world with courage and equanimity. And may God give the Church of today and her hierarchy, and each one of us in our own lives, the grace not to make Christianity seem to the world unworthy of credence through our own fault.